Now let's go ahead and let's create a new screen for this app. So this one is going to be slightly different, and actually just before I do that, I'm going to show the keyboard viewer as always so that you can see each and every keyboard action. And I'm going to duplicate the screen right here, and I'm going to rename it to free. Now, what we're gonna do now is we're actually going to create a checklist of items for a checkout page for this app. So we're going to make it a little bit more interesting and diversified. So let's do just that. And we're going to rename this to checkout. And let's rename this to, or actually, checkout, and then we're going to name this one to e-commerce, so that, or actually to shop. That would be even better for this specific app. And let's move this element right here. And we're also going to grab these elements and bring them here. Oops. And let's bring them to the very left. And what we're gonna do in this case is we're actually going to have some icons. So again, feel free to use whatever icons which you prefer for this project. I'm going to use nucleo icons, and what we're gonna do here is I'm going to simply add an icon right here, and let's make this one smaller. Let's add a circle, oops, not inside of it, right here. Let's bring it back, select, center, center, and there you go. Now I'm also going to change the color of this icon to this one, and let's change this one as well. All right, so far, so good. Now, let's just increase the size of this just a little bit, and maybe center this other one. For some reason I'm not really feeling it 100%. I might just want to center all of these guys right here. Maybe add a little bit of more padding on the right. And this is already starting to look better. Now what we're gonna do now is we're actually going to add a price on the very left. All right, and maybe we're just going to change the color of the pricing to have a green, so that it's going to look a little bit more visually interesting, and also having a clear association with the price, which is money. So yeah, you got it. All right, so far so good. Maybe I'm not sure if this is going to look as good, so I'm going to simply add a stroke, this one white, and change the color of this element to gray. All right, VIP membership, and since it's a VIP membership, we want to increase the price, 197. Maybe let's just make the price gray, since I'm not too sure if this is going to look as good. Well, actually, let's just keep it green. And what we're gonna do is we're going to group all of this together. It's going to be renamed to 1. And let's bring this here more or less. Yep. Let's duplicate it a few times down. And I'm just going to bring it up and use the distribute vertical spacing to make it look better. Actually, let's bring it up a notch even more. And let's reuse the distribute vertical spacing. All right, so far so good. Now we need to find some more icons. So going to use, need to find a few more of these. And we're going to essentially remove all of these other ones right here. And let's deselect these guys. This one is also selected, and so far so good. All right, this is looking good. Let's bring it. Let's make it similar, and what we're gonna do is we're actually going to just use these guidelines to make the work easier on ourselves. All right, perfect. So here we go, have the first one, and we're just going to start adding some random images, I guess, which can still be related to the specific project. So they should be, I mean, it's not a live app, of course, so we have more freedom of choice, but it should still be somewhat related to the general theme of the project, and we're going to figure out ways to actually make it happen. So it's something that we're going to figure out on the way. And yeah, let's just add a few of these. Here I think I'm starting to get into letters. Let's bring this one up. And let's also add as a final we're going to go with this one here. All right, so far so good. So I'm going to select all of these icons right here, and I'm simply going to make them 30 pixels, or actually let's make these ones smaller manually, since it's going to be easier essentially to do so. And sometimes you don't want to follow the guidelines like exactly how they are laid out. Sometimes you just want to maybe make an icon smaller or higher. The reason being is that it's really dependent on the height also and the structure of that icon. So this is definitely something that you might want to keep in mind. All right, cool. I'm just going to select all of these, remove the frame, change it to this, and there you go. Now let's add some random names. So yeah, I'm just being creative with this, just making this up on the go. Okay, now let's add some random pricing here, just to mix things up a little bit. All right, so far so good. Let's copy this guy right here. This one is going to be on the very right. Let's bring this one here, and we're just going to make up like a total number. It's not going to be the exact one. Yeah. Let's make this one bigger, so using a different style in order to drive more visual emphasis to it. There you go. Let's make this one all caps, still have add a little bit of more emphasis, and this one should be smaller, I guess. Yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about these guys in this green color. It's probably going to just reverse this, and I'm actually wondering, let's do one thing. Let's remove these guys, and I'm going to create a duplicate real quick in order to see if it's going to work better with a blue color. So let's do that. Select all of these ones. Let's remove the stroke. Let's use the fill. Okay, this is interesting. So we have two examples, two options, and I think in both of these I just want these guys to be bigger. So this is 13, this is 11. We definitely want to have to give more visual emphasis to the final number. Let me just do this, and let's remove the actual tags which are surrounding the number. Let's make it medium, and there you go. Okay, so far so good. I guess I'm leaning more towards this one on the right. So let's kill this concept. Let's bring it here, and I'm going to rename this to number 3, and there we go. All right, now what I'm gonna do is, in order to clean up all these layers, I'm just going to undo all of the layering that's happening here. I'm going to select all of the icons, and going to rename these in bulk to icons. I'm also going to rename the ellipses. I'm just going to group all of these together. Perfect. Name these two icons, and so far so good. I'm going to group these guys. Let's group these up. Let's group this one as well, and the number ascendance. Yeah, perfect. Just need to bring this one here, this one here, this other one up, same here, and same here for this one. This is top menu, so let's bring it to the top, and the total will be below. All right, so far so good. And I recently received a question regarding the hands-off. So if you wanted to hand this off to the developer, well, first of all, you might want to check with the developers regarding some of the specifics of the project and the way he wants or she wants to essentially develop this and structure this. So I would have a chat with the developer before starting the project, or when I have like the first or the second screen, I would send them over as a check if it's all working on their part and everything is clear. So that would be some preliminary work to do. And secondarily, if you're working in Figma, I would simply share the link with them. So essentially over here, I would add with a can edit or also can view. I would just send them over the to their email, the project. I will have them sign up, which takes like 1 or 2 minutes to sign up in Figma. It's 100% free, so you can easily do that. And basically they're going to have access to the project. And what I usually like to do is to send them over a video explaining the basics of Figma. I have one which is pre-recorded, so it's just a link that I can send them over, and they can learn how to essentially like navigate through Figma and all the basics. It's not like an hour tutorial. It takes just a few minutes to communicate what they need specifically in order to just code this up. Then they would essentially have the ability to export all of the options. So what I would do is, for example, make all of the elements exportable right here. So I would do this preliminary work for them, and essentially selecting the files, if it's like 1 or 2 or 3x, I need to export it out and send them over the details, and maybe have also a call where I basically guide them through. But I somehow managed to always pull it off without the call, or maybe like 95% of the times. If you actually do the video correctly, most of the questions should be already answered, and you can simply sync up with them via text or via quick call. But it should be pretty straightforward. Figma is really easy to work with also on their part, and really easy to get the basic understanding. So this is pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.